My first time on the red carpet. This is so great. Is that James Franco over there?
Oh, it's with James Franco with his new girlfriend Saoirse Ronan, or is he babysitting? I'm not sure.
Oh, look who it is, Christopher Nolan. Looks like he's watching Blade Runner 2049 on his phone.
On an iPad.
Fuck you!
Kevin Spacey. Hey, Kevin Spacey, Mr. Baby Driver himself.
Hey, Timothy Chalamet, watch out. That's Kevin Spacey right there.
Did he bring Timothy Chalamet? You know that was just a movie. Is that even Kevin?
No, that's Christopher Plummer.
Welcome to Cinema Gulp. I'm Ben.
And I'm John.
And welcome to our Oscar special.
This is something we've been looking forward to doing for a long time.
And we're really happy to be doing it with you all this evening. So the way this is going to work is myself and John are going to be reading off most of the categories for the Oscars. And what are we going to be doing with these categories, John?
We're going to talk about who we think should win the award, who we think will win, based on political reasons usually, and
who is going to get snubbed.
Who was snubbed?
Lots of snubs this year. We're also going to have some surprise wins in there for you, too. Who would be the big surprise?
Yeah. A la Moonlight winning last year over La La Land.
Or did it?
This is the year of the woman. So we're going to start off ladies first with Best Actress. Ben's going to go first.
Hashtag hair clips. Hashtag scrunchies. Right? So I'm starting off with the Best Actress category. We're starting strong, everybody. This is a good category. Some good people in there, some good snubs in there. Let's see what we got.
All right.
Okay, so for Best Actress in a Leading Role, we have Sally Hawkins for The Shape of Water. We have Frances McDormand for 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. We have Margot Robbie for I, Tonya. Saoirse Ronan for Lady Bird. And last but not least, Meryl Streep for The Post. Meryl Streep sneezed in a movie this year and got an Oscar nomination for it.
Let me let you know what I think about this category and who I think should win. Based on who's available, I'm going to go with Sally Hawkins. That's who I would like to see win the award. I think she gave an amazing performance, a completely wordless performance, yet every human emotion is seen on screen. And I think this is a movie where there's a lot of acting nominations from this film. A lot of people really enjoy this cast, but I'm not sure that any of the other actors really have a strong shot at winning. So I think this could be a spot for this cast to get an award. So the one that I think will actually win is Frances McDormand. I think that she's won every other award leading up to this point, and she really handles the dramatic and comedic side of that performance really well. It's a great character that I think voters are going to remember when it comes time to pick a winner. Now, maybe if there's a surprise in here, who could be the surprise winner?
I'm dying. Who?
Well, I think it'd be Saoirse Ronan. I think there's a lot of people who really like that performance as well. I think Lady Bird is a really loved movie, and I think it's going to get a chance to win something in the night. It only has a few options to win from, so this could be maybe a surprise win there. And then going on to snubs, who I think was really snubbed this year would be Phantom Thread's lead, Vicky Krieps. She was freaking awesome. It was a really well-rounded performance, I thought.
Okay, so Best Actress for me, who I think should win is Frances McDormand because she deserves it. Who will win is Frances McDormand because read above line. And the surprise win for me is actually the one that you think should, which is Sally Hawkins, because she's a mute. Yeah. But a beautiful mute and a wonderful performance for sure. But to me, I would consider that the surprise just because of that fact. Even though she's great and she's an amazing actress, but not saying anything, that's a leap. That's a leap right there. A good leap because she would deserve it. Snub for me is Rosamund Pike because she's epic and she's awesome. And I think that film, just because of the lack of just interest in the film before January.
We're going on to Best Actor now. The nominees for Best Actor are Timothy Chalamet, Call Me By Your Name, Daniel Day-Lewis for Phantom Thread, Daniel Kaluuya for Get Out, Gary Oldman for Darkest Hour, and Denzel Washington for a movie nobody saw. Roman J. Israel Esquire.
Is that the 5th nominee? Or is that the name of the movie?
Yes, Roman J. Israel is a 6th nominee. He took
6 nominees.
He took James Franco's spot. Out of those nominees, Ben, what's your thoughts?
Well, Gary Oldman should win. Gary Oldman will win because of makeup and character piece. And he's Gary fucking Oldman, and it's his turn. I think he should have won for tons of different films. The surprise win would be Denzel Washington because what the fuck movie is he in? Has anyone seen it? Snubs it's pretty obvious. I mean, there's a couple of them, but to me, it's Jeremy Renner for Wind River. We talked about his performance earlier in the year, and then mid-year, and then we talked about it in our best of video that we know why now because of the Weinstein label. And they're just fucking everyone from that movie out of any type of Oscar contention. But Jeremy Renner, for me, got snubbed because I really enjoyed his momentary, understated, and then very intense and well-utilized for the first time in a while. He's kind of been underutilized with certain roles, and it was good to see him using his acting chops. So just so you know out there, Jeremy, like, I love you. What about you, man?
All right. Who I think should win? Gary Oldman. Powerful performance. Disappears into the role, and he's a very likable character. Who will win? Gary Oldman. He's won everything leading up to this. The Academy feels that he's due, which he is. They've only nominated him twice up to this point, but
I've always hated that idea of the whole do thing, though, right?
Well, yeah, and I've even heard people say, "Oh, this is his last chance." Why? Is
Why?
he
He's like
die?
50. Right?
I mean, he could do so many more things that get nominated. It's up to you, Academy, to nominate and give him a win.
Like, when he heard that, he must have been like, "Am I dying?" And I don't know about it.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
But if there's going to be a surprise, for me, I would say Daniel Day-Lewis, based on him saying that he's retiring, this is his final performance. He does give a really good performance in the movie. It's his typical amazing Daniel Day-Lewis. It's very nuanced at times. But I don't really trust that this is his last acting role ever. Snubs for me, I agree with you. Jeremy Renner, I don't have to throw anything more on that. I 100% agree with everything you said. The other one I would say would be Christian Bale, which we both talked about in the Hostels review.
Toss-up.
He's excellent. He deserves to be in the conversation at least.
He does, yeah.
Played a fantastic character, emotionally resonant, and just both of those, Jeremy Renner and Christian Bale, fantastic performances.
Okay, so moving on to Best Supporting Actress. We have Mary J. Blige for Something Bound. We have Allison Janney in I, Tonya. Leslie Mansville in Phantom Thread. Laurie Metcalf in Lady Bird, and Octavia Spencer for The Shape of Water. Dude, what the fuck happened to your hand?
I got bit by a fish. It'll be okay.
Really?
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's a little bit of blood, but it's fine.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm not worried.
Doesn't look good, man.
Yeah. What I think of the Best Supporting Actress category, who should win? I'm going to go with Allison Janney. Allison Janney is the best female character actor working these days. Like, she is the female version of J.K. Simmons or Richard Jenkins, who's also a nominee. They do so many diverse things. She's had a long career of doing drama and comedy, and just every time she is awesome in whatever role she's in. And I'm going to go with her as the one who will win as well, because I think she's deserving. I think she's won everything else leading up to the Oscars. I think she's one of those characters that people are going to remember when it comes time to vote. And so I think she's going to be the one to take it. If I had a surprise win, I don't know that it's a surprise, but I think it's actually the one that's really on her heels that could pull off the win, would be Laurie Metcalf. Because, again, I go with people really like Lady Bird. They're going to find a place to give it a win somewhere. So if it's not Saoirse Ronan, then I think it could be Laurie Metcalf. So I'm going to go with her as my surprise win. Snub, I would say Holly Hunter for The Big Sick. She was heartwarming and really funny, and I think deserving of a nomination at least.
If they had a MILF category, then Holly Hunter would definitely be winning that one. For me, Best Supporting Actress, who should win? I'm saying Laurie Metcalf, because her character is subtle and complex, and an understated version of the shitty mother that Allison Janney is also brilliant. But I just loved Laurie Metcalf's portrayal because she's so many different layers of character. Like, Allison Janney's awesome, but she could do that role in her sleep, you know. But I love her. I love her to death. I'm not taking anything away from her. It just seems like Allison Janney's going to have a long-standing career of being nominated, and I think this is like Laurie Metcalf's it. Like, this is fucking it.
Oh, it's her last chance?
Yeah. Because on Netflix next month is the relaunch of The Roseanne Show, which she's going back to, so that's going to knock her down a couple notches.
She has a better chance at winning Emmys in the future than...
Who will win? Allison Janney, because it's her time, and she was fucking awesome, like I said. Surprise win for me is Mary J. Blige, because Netflix, and what the fuck is that movie?
Fucking
I sound like an old white man. Is Mary J. Blige some kind of rapper? My snub is an actress that I'm going to do my damnedest to get her name right, because I thought she was fantastic. Her name is Ana de Armas, and she was in Blade Runner 2049.
Oh wow, okay.
And she was so interesting and well written and fully realized.
Is this Joy?
This is the AI love interest.
Okay.
I found her
She's
fascinating, and every second she was on film, I believed her.
Yeah.
She's a gorgeous woman, and she played to these other strengths about who she was, and you see that Gosling's character it's not about her physical beauty, it's about their connection. And I thought she handled those scenes extremely well. She was a big snub for me because I thought she was exceptional in that movie.
Yeah,
and I'd never heard of her before.
That was a good one. I wasn't even thinking of her performance too much, but
I've been thinking about it since I saw it, and not in a wank-a-bank
Yeah,
type
I
of
know
way.
how you've been thinking about it.
Yeah, whatever.
The nominees in Best Supporting Actor are William Dafoe for The Florida Project, Woody Harrelson for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Richard Jenkins for The Shape of Water, Christopher Plummer filling in for Kevin Spacey and All the Money in the World, and then Sam Rockwell, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Ben, what are your thoughts on Best Supporting Actor?
Oh, okay. Well, for me, it's easy. Who should win is Sam Rockwell because he should have one by now, personally, I think. He's more or less the lead, though. But I think it was the safer bet. And he's just really layered. Like, you just hate this guy's guts in this movie when it starts. And then you hate him less. And then you almost sympathize with him. And then by the end, he's kind of like the main focus. So, great performance. Who will win? I think he's going to win. I think Sam Rockwell is going to win because it's his time to win. And I don't think his momentum has run out. I hate when people say that. Oh, he won the Golden Globe. Oh, and he didn't win the Independent Spirit Award. It's not just a safe bet. He's just a good guy. And like, it's just, yeah, he's a working man. He's like, it's like, give a fucking working man a chance. Stop with this Matthew McConaughey bullshit where he's got to talk about his dead dad talking to him at the Oscars for 10 minutes in his speech. Surprise win for me is Christopher Plummer, and I don't think you're going to differ from that because, you know, the old men at the Academy love old men on the verge of death, so that's one way he could possibly win. So my snub is similar to your snub in the opposite category because it's Ray Romano for The Big Sick. Definitely a career-defining performance for him. Get the hell out of here, Raymond. No one cares anymore. No one loves you. Everyone loves this guy. And this guy was the snub.
Apparently not everybody loves Raymond.
Nobody loves. No, what's his name in this movie? Because no one loves him. Everyone still loves Raymond, but fuck that.
My take on Best Supporting Actor, I'm right there with you with a lot of this. Sam Rockwell should win. Sam Rockwell will win. That's my take on both of those. He's been doing such great work for so many years. He's been a snub many times, in my opinion.
Totally, me too.
Number of times in his career that he wasn't even in the conversation. My personal list, he's been nominated 4 times already. Wow. So this is, I'm glad to see him finally get a nomination. I agree with you that he was more of the lead actor.
And he was snubbed last year for Poltergeist.
That's very true.
Paycheck.
So, surprise win. Maybe it's not as big of a surprise as Christopher Plummer, because that truly would be a surprise.
Oh, I thought you had that one for sure.
No, I'm going with William Dafoe, because I feel like he's the other one people
he may win.
Well, he may win. He's the one people are talking about. He's got a lot of respect in the industry. This is his 3rd nomination, and he hasn't won before. So, for whatever, not that that's a political thing, but it's whatever you call it. They play favorites. They want to give it to somebody because they're owed one instead of the performance they gave that they're nominating. So, I think he could be the surprise based on his love within the industry and things like that. Snubs, Michael Shannon from Shape of Water. He was fucking great. Will Poulter from Detroit, another one that wasn't really in the conversation.
I think
but
that's
should have
Oscar
been.
worthy.
I think that
sure.
one is. And then the last one would be Patrick Stewart for Logan. I thought he was pretty strong as well.
Lots of love for Logan coming from this side of the table.
Moving on to editing, one of our favorite categories around here.
Oh yeah. That's how we get Cinema Gulp done for you each and every week. Doesn't edit itself, motherfuckers.
It's also how the bills get paid.
Jeez, I don't know what the fuck that is.
So editing?
Yeah, I'll try to get through this somehow without a clothespin on my nose. But all right, so anyway, yeah, best editing. So we've got Baby Driver, we've got Dunkirk, I, Tonya, The Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards. Now, I apologize to anyone whose name, as an editor, we don't mention that we didn't pick, because the list I got offline didn't have the fucking courtesy to put the editor's name in the film, as if the film edited its fucking self.
I'm not sure I agree with my own pick on here, but I'm going with it anyway. Should win, I'm going with Baby Driver, because it was just so fucking creative. It was just such a dream for an editor to work on this movie. Amazing sequences in the movie. The reason I'm not 100% sure I agree with my own pick here is because it didn't tell the best story, and I think that's an important part of editing as well. So It was a marvel to watch in terms of the editing, so I would be happy to see it win. But the one that I think will win, Dunkirk. But it does tell a great story, and it does it well. I think Dunkirk, being a Best Picture nominee, has a stronger chance of actually winning that award because they like to give it to one of the strong competitors for Best Picture.
Right.
And the way that it blends the different timelines and the aerial footage, the cutting of all that stuff, I think it would be deserving to get the win. And I think
you have to love Lee Smith because he's now using different cinematographers too. Christopher Nolan has a completely different kind of style, you know, like, and he's moving forward with it really well.
Surprise win is, I'm going to go with The Shape of Water. Again, I'm going with that because I think it does tell a really good story. And I think it's a strong contender for Best Picture, and often the Best Editing award goes to one of those really strong Best Picture contenders. Snubs, I'm going to go with Blade Runner 2049, which was
very good.
Just a very methodically paced movie, great storytelling. It is a little overlong. I could see why maybe they didn't nominate it for those kind of reasons.
Best Editing for me, this category is near and dear to my heart, being an editor. I think that Lee Smith knocked it out of the park with Dunkirk. I think that's who should win. What a tough task of not only making a nonlinear film, but not unveiling that until halfway through it. Nolan almost should get co-win of this because he picks the right people to cut his films. His films are complex in the way they're made, the way the stories are told. Always, 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 always. It's probably a daunting task, but a very rewarding one to be someone like Lee Smith that got to cut Dunkirk. I think it's the best edited movie of the year, hands down. Love it. It's fantastic. It's the best thing of the film, in my opinion. And the one that I think is going to win is the one that you're having a hard time agreeing with, and that's Jonathan Amos for Baby Driver, because it's flashy, and I get why. That's why I think it's going to win, because it's flashy and it's obvious. Where Dunkirk, it's like these old fucking suits. Well, I'm not saying they're gonna like favor Baby Driver over a British fucking World War II movie, but it's a flashier edited film. It's a little more obvious. So I think Baby Driver will win, but I think Dunkirk should. Surprise win is Tatiana Rigel for I, Tonya, because it's a great display of pacing, misdirection, use of aspect ratio. I think that'd be a surprise win, but I'd like to see it win because that was one of the best things of that film was how it was cut together. The snub for me is Nick Hoy for Lady Bird, simply because it has the best edited 30 seconds of a movie this year in it, and that's really the only reason.
Nominees for cinematography are Blade Runner 2049, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Mudbound, and The Shape of Water. So, Ben, what are your thoughts on cinematography?
Who should win, hands down, for me is Dan Lawston for The Shape of Water. Best lit film of the year, best color palette of the year. It's a gorgeous fucking movie to look at. It looks like a Guillermo del Toro movie, but so much more colorful, if that's even possible, because his movies are usually colorful, but they're usually more grim, where this one's more fantasy. People like to give all the credit to Pan's Labyrinth for looking fantasy. I think that movie looks fucking dull as shit, in my opinion. This is a beautifully lit film, all super colorful. Who will win? Roger Deakins for Blade Runner 2049, who I love to death. He's an Oscar caliber DP in everything he does, so he'll win one. But I think in this particular film, a lot of the wow factor had to do with the renderings and the set design more so than his eye in the camera. Not to say his eye in the camera wasn't good, but I think people get lost in the wonderment and the beauty of everything. But I think a lot of it was digital stuff, and a lot of it was, paintings, and not necessarily from his eye, even though, like I said, he's probably going to win. So obviously I think he's good. Surprise win for me would be Rachel Morrison for Mudbound, because Netflix. And my snubs is Barry Ackroyd for Detroit. Because he walks a thin line. He does this a lot. Captain Phillips as well. He walks a thin line between shaky cam and really intense close-ups. He makes the viewer more engaged, yet scared to watch sometimes. So I think that's kind of the snub.
My picks, who I think should win, I'm going to go with Roger Deakins for Blade Runner 2049. It's just the beauty of the film. I agree with you there that there is a little mix of the visual effects and the production design that all help it out. But I still think it was just awe-inspiring to look at, and my favorite pick for cinematography for the year. I think it's also the film that will win, based on Roger Deakins having 14 nominations and not winning yet.
14.
And he's made so many amazing films over the years, and to know that he hasn't won one, I think when they look at that whole someone is owed or someone is due, that's 14 nominations without a win. He's owed one. And then a surprise win, I would go with Shape of Water, although it wouldn't be a surprise. It's a deserving win. It's a gorgeous looking movie. The use of color in the movie is amazing. Wouldn't be a surprise really if it wins. Dunkirk is another one that I think, just the way that it brings that situation to life. I forget the guy's name, but that cinematographer has been doing some
I think
awesome
his last
stuff.
name is Humper, because wasn't Christopher Nolan's last DP's last name Fister?
Snubs would be Phantom Thread.
Ooh, you love this movie.
Yeah, it looked,
I need to see it.
It was a beautiful looking movie. It had kind of a really airy kind of feel to it. I don't think it's necessarily as strong as the 5 that maybe were nominated, but it's a good looking film.
It's like an honorable mention.
Kind of an honorable mention. And then Wind River and It Comes at Night had good looking cinematography as well.
So makeup, which is my favorite category. What? Are you all right over there?
Oh, yeah. What? Go ahead. Makeup. What are you talking about here?
Best makeup, Darkest Hour, Victoria... what?
And Abdul.
And Abdul and Wonder. I don't know what the hell's going on in
Yeah,
makeup
you haven't
this
seen
year.
any of these movies.
I have
seen
not.
them all. They all... Well...
What is Abdul Rahim and Raham?
Victoria and Abdul is probably more hairstyling than anything. I don't know why it's a makeup.
What the fuck is going on right now?
The only one that's even in contention here is Darkest Hour. They completely transformed Gary Oldman into Winston Churchill. It's perfect. You never even watching it thinking it's makeup. Surprise would be Wonder. Snubs, Shape of Water. And we're just confused how that's not in here, because it is a strong contender. It's got the most nominations of any film, and it's clearly a makeup job. If they're somehow calling it like a costume or something, I don't know, that's confusing, because in the past, prosthetics are prosthetics. And then It would be another one. I mean, the amazing work in It, how diverse they are. It's not just the clown makeup, which is, they redesigned an iconic makeup job, the Tim Curry one, came up with a completely new look that's just as awesome and terrifying and iconic. And all the other weird creatures and things you see throughout the film all are really impressive and super creepy, and there's just a lot of different stuff going on, whereas Darkest Hour, Wonder, and some of these other ones, it's like one makeup job and that's all that's being nominated, whereas It has the most diverse, I would say, overall.
I can do Snubs with you because it doesn't have to be a movie I've seen. I mean, now it does. I agree with you on It. I agree with you on Shape of Water. But a lot of people don't know this, but Daniel Kula is actually white. So Get Out got snubbed.
It's time to do Best Score. All right, the nominees for Best Score are Dunkirk, Phantom Thread, The Shape of Water, Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Okay, this is
Some good choices there, things that I really enjoyed. What's your thoughts, Ben?
I thought there's great scores this year. I particularly liked The Shape of Water because I felt like, what did I say? I felt like it felt like Amelie bangs Abe Sapien. It had this like French type of like quirky romantic comedy vibe to it, but then it was also very intense. I believe the composer's name is Alexander Desplat. So that's who I think should win, and I also think that's who will win because it stands out. The surprise for me would be John Williams because basically he can sleepwalk through doing this riff nowadays. He adds a few new elements in there for dramatic purposes. Snub for me is Hans Zimmer and Benjamin Wallfisch for Blade Runner 2049 because that is an awesome score. That would have been who I would want to have won had it been in there. I think that's the best score of the year completely. It's so cool. And what were the guys' names that did the original one?
Vangels.
The Vangels. Like, it took little tiny ideas from that. Just ideas, and it made it into this newer age thing, but kept it so Blade Runner world.
Well, who I think should win is who you were just discussing. Dunkirk for Hans Zimmer. I feel like that score was vital to the experience, to the viewing experience.
It totally was.
And it had like a ticking clock kind of theme that helps ratchet up the tension. So I think that's the one that should win. Shape of Water, I think, is the one that will win, which I think is what you went with, possibly. but I'm going with it because I feel like it's kind of safe. It's definitely got its romantic side. I think it's a really good score. I think the way that it works with all the various tones that the film has, it does a good job of juggling all that stuff and never seeming out of place. And then a surprise win, I'm going to go with 3 Billboards. Mainly because it's a strong contender for Best Picture. I feel like a lot of times score can sometimes go hand in hand with Best Picture. This is another one that I'm actually surprised Carter Burwell, who does all of the Coen Brothers movies, and he's been working since the early 90s, mid 80s, I think. He's got a lot of great scores over his career. He's only been nominated twice and only in the last 3 years. This one and one 2 years ago.
Picking up steam.
So he's one that I feel like is kind of due, even though he doesn't have a ton of nominations. He's done so many great films in his career. And then Snubs, I was right there with you. Blade Runner 2049, for all the same reasons you said. It was just... It works with like the sound design of the film at times. It has homages to the original that work really well. I think it could possibly be the best score of the year, and it's total snub.
Thank you. Okay, so you're right there.
I don't know.
That thing's getting pretty ugly, man.
Does it? Does it look strange to you?
Well, I mean, like not that bad, but I mean, it's a different color.
I had some sun the other day. I think it's just a tan.
Were you wearing a glove that only covers 3 fingers? Moving on to Best Original Screenplay, which is another category I love. So in this category, we have The Big Sick, Get Out, Lady Bird, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, and The Shape of Water. Are you guys starting to see a pattern with these movies? It's all the same ones for everything. So go ahead and give me some of your picks there, John.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I really like this category over Adapted. I think these are where the stronger screenplays...
books.
This is where the stronger screenplays of the year seem to land.
Sure.
Under original. So who I think should win, I'm going to go with 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. I think it's just filled with such great dialogue, great characters. It's a really compelling story. And I really like kind of the unexpected flow of the screenplay as well. Definitely one of the top screenplays of the year. And I'm going to go with that as the film to win the Oscar as well, because there was we'll get to it, but Best Director, there was a snub going on there. And I think this is the place where Martin McDonagh has his chance to win an Oscar. And I think they're going to feel like there's a lot of love for this movie to some degree. And I think it's got to win something for Martin McDonagh. So this is where he's going to get his win. Surprise, I would go with Lady Bird or Get Out. I think both of them have really strong screenplays. And to some degree, it could be seen as maybe a political choice or just a PC choice to choose those films. But I do think they have good screenplays. I think Get Out has a lot of creativity and is very original. If you're giving Best Original Screenplay, it's one of the most original of the choices here.
John is racist and sexist now.
I think Lady Bird also has a lot of love, and this is another place where I don't really think that Greta Gerwig is going to win Best Director, so I think here is a good opportunity for them to award her in the Year of the Woman. She's the one that they're putting out as the top nominee from the choices there.
Because they all forgot Catherine Bigelow was alive and made a great movie.
Snubs for me would be Wind River and Phantom Thread. Wind River is possibly the best story and possibly the best screenplay of the year, in my opinion. I think it's got very realistic dialogue, great characters, wonderful twists throughout the screenplay. And then Phantom Thread just has wonderful characters, and
God, I gotta see
you got to check it out. There's some really great stuff where there's these small battles. Every scene has these little moments of conflict and these little battles that go on in every scene. And
you got really, this movie's balls resting on your chin. I need to see this movie.
It was a strong contender.
So Best Original Screenplay for me, who I think should win is Emily Gordon and what's his name, Kumail Nanjiani for The Big Sick. Because I think, and normally I would have just gone with 3 Billboards for this one. I watched The Big Sick 3 times now.
Wow.
I think the screenplay of that movie is that's the adhesiveness of that movie. That's the core strength of that movie. The acting's great as well, but man, that's one of those becoming a rewatchable movie to me where I can just put it on at any time and get some enjoyment out of it because it's so funny and it's so human and real, and there's people... there's people that write real movies about themselves, but it's just an alternate universe version of themselves. And then you have The Big Sick that just feels like it's actually someone just telling you, and you're placing it in your head through the screenplay exactly how realistic it is, and it just plays out that way. So what I think will win is Greta Gerwig for Lady Bird because they got to give her something, and this is what they're going to give her. And it is a great screenplay. I'm not taking away from that, but that's what she's going to walk away with, in my opinion. So my surprise win for Best Original Screenplay is Jordan Peele for Get Out. It's strange. It's unique. It's batshit crazy. And because it's batshit crazy, I don't think it has a chance to win. That's why I think it's a surprise. So Snubs, same as you. Taylor Sheridan, Wind River. Wow, I can't fucking believe this movie's not up for Best Screenplay. This shows why
fucking Harvey Weinstein.
This shows it's true about Weinstein, because what did he get nominated for last year?
Yeah, Hell or High Water.
Hell or High Water. This is an equivalently, like, this movie, like, is made, or the script is just as tight, the characters are just as realized. It may not be as pleasant of a movie to watch as Hell or High Water. That kind of has a crowd-pleasing element to it.
And it's got Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, but Wind River is just such a fucking great script. If that was nominated, that might have been my number one.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and it's not even fucking there, which is crazy. Yeah, thank you, John. Fuck you, Weinstein. And fuck you, Academy.
Best Adapted Screenplay. Nominees for Best Adapted Screenplay are Call Me By Your Name, The Disaster Artist, Logan, Molly's Game, and Mudbound.
So I think, I'm just going to say it right off the bat, The Disaster Artist should win, because if you think of what the story of all of this is, you have a shitty movie that got famous for being shitty, and then you have a pretty great, very easy to read page-turner book, and then the adaptation into the film, it was perfect. I mean, yeah, it left out small elements, but for me, it's one of the better adaptations of a book, because it's not a very long book. It's not a very difficult book to read, so they didn't leave that much out. I think it's picture perfect. So in my opinion, that deserves to win, and that's Michael Weber and Scott Nadaster. Who will win? James Ivory, Call Me By Your Name, to give the fucking movie something. Surprise win would be Scott Frank and James Mangold for Logan, which is kind of what I'm rooting for. Even though I said what should, kind of rooting for it. I just don't think it will. Because it's a fucking X-Men movie. And as we were watching it, we're like, this is the best X-Men movie probably ever. One of the better comic book movies ever made. A ballsy risk by Fox. And it paid off. There's an Oscar nomination for something other than, like, visual effects, for writing. And it shows in the movie. So that'd be my surprise one. But I'm secretly kind of like, I would just be so stoked if that won. And then the snub for me is Chase Palmer for It. Where the fuck did nobody think about the guy that... Yeah, it was like a big commercial success and financial, and people and a lot of critics were nice to it. We knew it wasn't going to get Oscar love, but don't forget, it's an adaptation of a Stephen King novel, and a pretty goddamn good one in the first half. I was kind of shocked that that wasn't ever even in the conversation. So my snub is for the movie It. No, kids should read it. It's good bedtime reading.
They like gangbangs. Okay, so my choices, I'm going to go with who I think should win. I think Logan should win.
Oh!
I don't really feel that strongly about any of the films that are actually nominated in this category other than Logan. And when it comes to adapted, I haven't really read the source material on many of these films, so I can't really say how well of an adaptation it is. But just in terms of how good these screenplays are, I'm going with Logan. I think it created a fascinating world. I liked the way it was grounded. I think it shows great respect to the characters. And it's what the fans want. It's what we've all been asking for, is like a comic book movie to be taken seriously. I agree with you. Call Me By Your Name is the one they're going to give it to, because they want to give that film an award somewhere. Also, the guy who wrote it, James Ivory?
Yes.
He's been nominated 4 times as a director, but never as a screenwriter. Surprise win, I'm going to go with Disaster Artist or Mudbound. And really, it's just because if one of these other ones isn't going to win, then maybe it's these. Disaster Artist would be interesting because it's like, it obviously is a good adaptation of the book.
It might have been an easy adaptation.
Might have been, but it's like a Hollywood dream story. I think, Hollywood likes to pat itself on the back sometimes, so... or all the time.
Tommy Wiseau likes to pat himself on the back.
Snubs, I'm going to go with Blade Runner 2049. Again, I don't know if these things all fall under adapted. It's based on the original film that considers adapted, I guess.
Fair enough.
I don't know. But it's the most thought-provoking movie of the year for me. I love the way that it uses its themes and symbolism throughout the film, and it builds beautifully and very realistically on the original film.
The nominees. Okay, so we have Christopher Nolan, then we have Jordan Peele for Get Out, Greta Gerwig for Lady Bird, surprise, surprise, Paul Thomas Anderson for Phantom Thread, and Guillermo del Toro for The Shape of Water. These names, I don't even need to say them anymore. We just know who these people are going to be. So, John, give me your picks.
Okay, who should win? I'm going to go with Guillermo del Toro. I think he just made the most entertaining, or one of the most entertaining and artistic films of the year. It's a film that has all of his strengths with very little of his weaknesses. And I think that every aspect of this film feels informed by his creative style. So it really truly is his film, but without a lot of the problems we've seen in the past from his films. I think he will also win it because he's won every award leading up to this. I think it's the most accessible film of the best director choices for just average audiences. I think it's got the spectacle and the story. And a lot of times lately when there's like a director split these days, they kind of give it to the film that's more technically inclined or spectacle driven. This one has both. It's got a strong story, it's creative and artistic, but it's also got a bit of spectacle. Surprise win, I would say, is Christopher Nolan. Basically because what we were talking about, I feel like almost every film he's made except for the last two were kind of deserving of Best Director nominations, and he's never received one. So yes, it's his first time, but maybe that's going to be all it takes for them to want to finally give him the trophy as well. Biggest snub for me, Blade Runner 2049. Denis Villeneuve would be winning Best Director if he was nominated, in my opinion, but he's not in the conversation. Also, Martin McDonagh for Three Billboards, which I think has a really strong shot of winning Best Picture, but the director's not nominated. If that happens, that's going to be like Argo a couple years back when Ben Affleck wasn't nominated, but the film still won Best Picture. So that could be pretty surprising if it goes down that way.
All right, so for me, it's exactly the same as John. Who should win? Guillermo del Toro. Who will win? Guillermo del Toro. Don't need to say anything else about that. So here's another thing where Jordan Peele ends up in the surprise category. If he wins Best Director, I'd be fucking surprised as hell. Like, just because it's his first movie, and I just don't think he deserves it. So if he won it, I'd be like, holy shit! And my snub is obviously Martin McDonagh. It's funny, you and I, when we were talking about our favorite films, yours Blade Runner 2049, mine with Three Billboards, we're talking about our directors so hard in those films and how they make us feel and like how they make us happy as being film lovers and what it means to appreciate film, and these two guys are doing that, and they're both fucking snubbed. At least one of them has Best Picture, but Denis Villeneuve has nothing pretty much, and he's incredible. So yeah, Martin McDonagh is obviously my snub. Three Billboards is my favorite movie of the year. I think he's an incredible filmmaker, and he'll get there. I mean, he's getting all this shit, so I don't think he gives two fucks one way or another. It's just us bitching about it because that's our job. But, you know, he's going to get drunk at the after parties and have a ball, you know? So fucking look for Lindsay Lohan, man. Just keep on rocking. Keep rocking. What is that smell anymore? I can't fucking take it anymore. What the heck?
Yeah, I guess it's these. Okay.
What the fuck is wrong?
I'm taking them off, man.
What the fuck? Ah! Ah! Ah!
I'll just put them on ice for later. Okay.
And moving on to our Best Picture category. John, what do you got for us?
Best Picture. Nominees are Call Me By Your Name, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Get Out, Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, The Post, The Shape of Water, and Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
I say, why so many? If 9, why not 10? For me, who should win? Three Billboards. I think it's a small masterpiece of filmmaking and storytelling at the highest level. You've heard this all before, folks. That's what I think should win. It's my favorite film of the year. What will win is The Shape of Water, which I wouldn't be sad about. It's great. It's Del Toro's best film. Surprise win would be Dunkirk because it's definitely in the discussion, but for some reason people keep on making this joke that it's impossible that Dunkirk will win. I always think it'd be fucking hilarious if it did. I don't know why that's like the butt of some people's jokes. It's like, oh, Dunkirk because it's Dunkirk. It's like, no, it's a brilliant film. My snub is definitely Wind River. Should be in the Best Picture category. That should be number 10. We all know why it's snubbed. We all know why. It's unfair. It's ridiculous. I'm gonna read the. This is my little note to the Academy. We all know why it's snubbed, even though it's fucking unfair and ridiculous. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. It's a fantastic piece of filmmaking that should not have been left out, especially after the critical response. I didn't see Call Me By Your Name or The Post, but I have a sneaking suspicion that either one of those could have been thrown out for Wind River.
Who I think should win Best Picture, I'm going to go with Shape of Water. And mainly because Blade Runner 2049 wasn't nominated. That's the reasoning. It's a beautiful, entertaining film. It harkens back to old Hollywood style, old Hollywood filmmaking. I think it has great use of homage to a lot of classic films and a lot of classic film styles. And I think it's also the film I think will win. For the same reasons. It's just very accessible, old Hollywood style. I think it's got relevant themes for today, like equality, diversity, and xenophobia. Surprise wins, not really a surprise, but Three Billboards would be my second choice there. I also agree with you. Dunkirk is in the conversation and could win. Snubs would be obviously Blade Runner, and right there with you, Wind River. Both really great films, fascinating, deserving films, excellent scripts, made by top-notch filmmakers. And if there's a 10th spot, either one of those deserve that spot or could kick out a couple of the films you mentioned as well. That was our take on the Oscars.
Tell us what you think, everybody. What did you think? Who do you think should win? Who do you think will win? And what are some of the bigger snubs and surprises?
Please let us know in the comment section below. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Don't forget to subscribe and click like. For Cinema Gulp,
this is Ben.
And this is John. I'm John.
And we're doing some drinking, so we drink your cinema.
I drink it up!